All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. What is going on? Friends and neighbors, good to see you. We're live on YouTube, Rockfin, and on Twitter. They figured out what was going on with YouTube, so good news. What's up, all y'all people? All y'all folks. How you feeling? All right. I've been doing the show so long, I feel like I'm recycling titles sometimes. I swear I already did a video with this title before. But maybe not. Yes, O.J. Simpson has kicked the proverbial bucket. That's why you got to have a bucket list. I'm sorry. This is probably not a great joke. Yeah. Sure that OJ crossed a lot of things off his bucket list. Maybe things he wasn't trying to cross off. But a one-time extremely accomplished athlete and celebrity. And obviously we all know the story. I remember the day of the infamous low speed chase. Yeah. Some people are trying to equate his cancer with something. I don't know. Yeah. Well, all I can say is, you live your life, you get old, and then you leave this mortal coil. And it's just unfortunate. To me, the whole story, I mean, whatever you believe about it, it's just unfortunate that somebody who had so much had to have all, to do that or have all that happen in his life. I don't know. Beyond all the jokes and the memes, I mean, and there are a lot. It's just sad. It's just all of it is sad. The whole thing. It might be a good. I don't know. If you all know, I started like a story channel, but I haven't really put much on it. But I have some stories lined up. Maybe the O.J. Simpson story might be a good story. I might actually have to add that to the list. I don't know. I'm just thinking of, stories that are kind of, strange, weird. Let's see. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm trying to do some organizing here. Here we go. Why not? Anyways, y'all good? Everybody good? Is everybody? Anyways, I was just about to say something. Doesn't need to be said. All I can say is oh, thanks. I didn't realize that that maybe I need to erase that video. But word, good to see you all and welcome. If you're watching on Twitter, could you please like, retweet, or drop a comment? If you can't make it to the chats, you know, the old-fashioned reply to the video, just leave me a comment or something. I don't know. Just thinking it might help with the visibility of the channel. You guys want the channel to be visible, don't you? I wish good things for you. Don't you wish good things for me and this channel? Don't you wish visibility on this channel? Wish it. All right, Little B. I got a comment from Little B on Twitter. Thank you, Little B. I appreciate you. You rock. Little B, making me feel loved all the way from over on Twitter. Thank you. Little B says, I wish good things for you. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Sorry, I thought that was funny. But no, it's true. As doomy and gloomy as this channel is, I wish good things for all people, and I wish good things for everybody here. You know. Thank you, Gigabane. I appreciate you. Yes, and I will erase that video from YouTube. I forgot it was probably just sitting there. It's never going to happen unless I upload the video, which I could. I could just download the video from StreamYard and upload it on YouTube. Maybe I should do that today. Maybe that should be a thing that I do today. I don't know. I realize that there might be some people that hate watch this channel. I actually kind of miss all the haters on Colin. You know, it's funny. So like other people post about climate on Twitter, climate change. And they just get there's a whole crew of people that are like, shut up, stupid. Climate change is dumb. Shut up. Climate change is a hoax. Don't you know the sea levels aren't rising? You know, they just get a whole, like, just a litany of like, no, that's dumb. Shut up. Right. I don't even, I don't get any of that on Twitter when I post something. And I'm like, can I get some hate? Can I get some, oh, shut up. You're stupid. That's dumb. Why are you talking about climate change? Climate change is dumb. Like nothing. I actually might get a little excited. Somebody was just like, no. You're wrong. Let me tell you why you're wrong. I think that might be kind of fun, but I don't know. Post things on Twitter and they just fall into a void where there is absolutely nothing but the same three people that like all my Twitter posts and repost them. And you know who you are, and I love you. But absolutely nobody else apparently sees any of my posts on Twitter. I don't know. What are you going to do? Maybe you should subscribe. Twitter is like the new WeChat. Maybe you should subscribe. No, but I mean, I live for a little, jovial, bantering debate. Yeah, I don't get any space lasers. I don't get any HARP. I don't get any geoengineering. I don't get any the sun. Nothing. Can I get a little science denial in my comments, please? I would love it. Make me feel whole. Anyways. Well, okay, so we're here. Saw this post. This is an interesting post from Just Collapse. I wish I could find it again. I just lost it. I had it and then I lost it. Well, that's all we can wish for. Gigabane is some brutal honesty. Come on now. Here we go. All right. So this is part 1 from Just Collapse, and we'll read through this. I've read some things from Just Collapse before and thought they were interesting. Seem to have a fairly cool. Why is my Rockfin all messed up? Sorry, Rockfinners. I don't know. Shoot. It says I'm live. Hopefully you guys are. Sorry, I lost my way on Rockfin. No, I don't want to do that. I do want to do this. Okay, I'm here. I see you guys on Rockfin. Sorry, I don't know if I lost the stream or never pressed go. Denver. Yes, Slava. We miss Slava. And his good-natured camaraderie. I didn't know he was tragically killed in a soda fountain accident on the front lines fighting for Zelensky, right? That's funny. He was taken out by a really, really strong stream of soda. So, it's like high pressure soda. It's it's carbonation is it's dangerous. Anyways. So let's read this. Climate crisis and our eco-fascist future. This sounds interesting, doesn't it? Claims around who is and is not a fascist can be overblown. And also wildly subjective compared to where you're. The people just throw around the word fascist like it's, Skittles. I don't know. It should be a word that's taken seriously, but now it's so overused. Who knows who to listen to these days on who is and who is not a fascist. A fascist can, anyways, who is and who is not a fascist can be overblown. So our intention is not to point fingers. Instead, in this two-part blog, we define eco-fascism and draw attention to how business as usual, including green versions, are eco-fascism writ large, and describe how some ideas within the climate environment movement also channel eco-fascist sentiments. Those supporting and working for equity and democracy are facing some hard truths in the 21st century. The world is in irreversible climate ecological collapse, and in these times of scarcity and fear, our grim reality includes the rise of fascism. Dun, dun, dun. I need a sound effect for that. Fascism can be broadly defined as dogmatic and oppressive ideals that demand acquiescence to a supreme leadership favoring one group of people whilst persecuting others. There's also many definitions of fascism, apparently. Fascism creates and encourages structural violence by dehumanizing some and benefiting others. While this definition I agree with, it also is defined as the merger of corporations and state. I think is the official definition, but last I checked. Which, if you're confused at all, we're currently living in such a state. Because the corporations wholly own the government, which is supposed to, do things for you, serve you, protect you, or whatever it is. Give you things even. But they are fully captured by corporate interests. And in that sense, it might be the future, the fascist future might be now. Fascism can be broadly defined as dogmatic and oppressive ideals that demand, and I read that. Eco-fascism encompasses dogmatic and oppressive ideals or regimes that use climate and environmental claims to support anti-democratic governance and prioritize the status and well-being for an ego elite. Man, that was great. I liked that. That was pretty good. And I think there's a lot of people that are concerned about just this thing, the eco-fascism, using climate and environmental claims to support anti-democratic governance and prioritize the status and well-being for an eco-elite. And a lot of people might point to liberal governments and their leaders, point out how they are trying to do just this very thing, right? The people that are supposed to be like, we care about democracy and democracy is great and we love democracy and people's rights and human rights and free speech and all that kind of good, all that kind of jazz. Eco-fascism is a label applied liberally by some to those who talk about population as a contributor to our climate ecological predicament. True. That's true. For some, just mentioning the word population represents a dog whistle for fascism. For some. For many. I think, from my experience, apportioning blame on the basis of race is highly problematic. However, blanket application of the eco-fascist label to anyone who says anything about population is overly simplistic. Overly simplistic. Despite good intentions, it is often used to shut down conversations about the severity, intractability of our predicament. Also, an excellent paragraph. I thought that was a great explanation. Thank you. There is no need for obtuse finger-pointing. As we describe below, ecofascism is already writ large in economic growth, capitalism, colonialism, ecocide, extinction, and many actions emanating from crumbling democracies like monocultural industrial agriculture and oppressive treatment of refugees. Some people, I'm not saying I'm one of those people. Don't have a dog in this fight. But some people think that refugees are being treated fairly well. I don't know, There's a lot of confusion about how refugees are being treated. Some people think they're being treated horribly. Some people think they're being treated really nicely. I don't, it could be different in some places. Ecocide. This is the 6th mass extinction, the scale and speed of which is unfathomable. This ecocide is a result of ecological overshoot. The word overshoot in and of itself would imply something about population. Something about population. Using and abusing the earth way beyond its capacity to recover and replenish. Overshoot is unevenly distributed. Poorer parts of the world have zero or minimal overshoot, often because they lack access to significant energy surplus, such as fossil fuels. Well, I would go even further and say they just lack money, right? They're saying poorer parts of the world, the undeveloped, quote unquote, undeveloped parts of the world. The people that don't have money. The people that don't have money to destroy the earth as fast as we destroy the earth. We have the money and the resources to destroy the earth at a pretty fast pace. Which is why being poor is something that everyone should look into. How's that for a marketing campaign? Affluent countries with access to the most fossil fuels are the main drivers. Globally, the natural world has been subjugated and exploited based on ideas, largely within capitalism and economic growth, that some people are superior to and separate from the natural world. 6 continent supply chains may distance affluent populations from the impacts of ecocide and the exploitation of poor populations, but this is eco-fascism writ large. It is frequently argued that an alternative energy source can address or stop ecocide, failing to recognize that it is energy, period, that is the driver of overshoot. Doesn't matter where the energy comes from. And we'll just stop there and give that sentence, or that part of the sentence, a golf clap. Not fossil fuels per se. In fact, an energy transition involves a hyper growth because of all the mining and infrastructure development required. It is greenwashed ecocide. Indeed. An energy transition is also infeasible because fossil fuels, like them or not, are a unique energy source that cannot be replaced at scale. Furthermore, the quantity of minerals required for the proposed transition simply does not exist. Coming with some facts here, all right? Given these limitations, support for a clean energy transition is inherently eco-fascist. Not only is it ecocidal, it also lends tacit support for inequality and inequity because these technologies will mainly be available to those who already have wealth and privilege. Who are the people that are encouraging a clean energy transition? Just a question. Anyways, this includes the very people and corporations that many claim to be responsible for our climate ecological predicament. Big oil, for example, is a major investor in so-called renewables. Well, going green, it's big money. It's big, big money, I'm telling you. Benefiting, so-called renewables benefiting from the essential role fossil fuels play in powering the minds and manufacturers for clean energy. I will just stop and interject here that renewable sources are not actually, they don't renew themselves. They're actually should be known as rebuildables. They supply a cleaner source of energy. True. But you have to keep building them, keep them up, keep as you would any other parts of infrastructure. And you have to build them. The initial building usually takes quite a bit of fossil fuels. Atmospheric geoengineering is another technology that both supports. Oh, weren't we just talking about this? And depends upon the inequity of business as usual and thus also channels eco-fascist sentiments. As the climate continues to spiral out of control, these untried and untested technologies will inevitably be applied. Inevitably. Available evidence indicates that the effects will be unevenly distributed. Nations and regions with the capacity to deploy such technology will be inclined to do so for their own benefit, leaving poorer and more marginalized places potentially even worse off. In a collapsing world where those least responsible for the predicament are those impacted first and foremost, where lies the justification other than to fulfill eco-fascist ideals. Through the subjugation of those deemed less worthy, colonizers have reaped the benefits of land, ecosystems, and populations brought under their control through extraction, exploitation, and enslavement. Ding, ding, ding. Impacted peoples have experienced the harsh realities of local and regional socio-ecological collapse. Unfortunately, those people are also some of those who are experiencing and will experience the first and worst impacts of global socio-ecological collapse. While many continue to demand rights and equity with tenacity and resilience, the legacy of colonialism persists and is still being supported by the by the people that are like, I think colonizing is bad. The legacy of colonialism persists. Today, the assumed right of a few to benefit to the detriment of those struggling against past injustices is again eco-fascism writ large. Eco-fascism is not a distant threat. Neither is it only evident on the right of politics. It is alive and kicking in the very substance of business as usual, including clean energy, greenwashing by big environment groups and green parties. Are you trying to say it's the left too? Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're trying to say in so many words. Yeah, Angel's Place. I'm with it. I think that's cool. A not so nutty idea. At least it actually draws I think it draws some attention to it, and I think that's all right. That's just my personal opinion. That's okay. You can disagree. That's fine. Anyways, so they're saying it's not only evident on the right of politics, it is alive and kicking in the very substance of business as usual, including clean energy, greenwashing by big environment groups and green parties. There's no waiting around for jackboots, armbands, and little black notebooks. Act now to avert the worst. All right. That's cool. Pretty good, shortish article. I rather enjoyed it. If you're still with me on Twitter, can I get a hell yeah? If you're with me on Rockfin, can I get a what's going on? Sorry, I'm just reading things. Um. All right, Angel Place. Thank you. Little B got a hell yeah from Little B. All right, we're still going. Still going. Okay, let's move on. Well, could have in other news that we could have seen coming that people are going to continue to be surprised about and wonder what the actual source of it is. Guys, I just cannot drink enough coffee today. I need more. Actually, don't. Okay. Anyways, farmers warn of first year without harvest since Second World War. Unprecedented flooding and the wettest 18 months on record mean crop yields will be significantly down with risks of food shortages. This is from 2 days ago. Oh, darn you all to heck. Y'all surprised me with this one because I was reading this earlier. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Here we go. Let's just do it this way. Are you gonna let me read the whole article here? Yep. Okay. All right. Farmers are warning of food shortages as record rainfall threatens to bring the first season without a harvest on some farms since the end of the Second World War. Vast swaths of farmland are still underwater following an unprecedented period of flooding, with 11 named storms since September and the wettest 18 months on record. The Agriculture and Horticultural Development Board has predicted that wheat yields will be down 15%, winter barley down 22%, and oilseed rape down 28%, the biggest drop since the 1980s. Joe Stanley, an arable and livestock farmer at a research farm in Leicestershire, I guess that's how you say it, said he and his colleagues were facing the first year without a harvest since the land was first farmed after the war. Unless it basically stops raining today and then it becomes nice and sunny and windy, we're not going to get any crops in this year. That's a real danger, he said. Many farmers will be in the same situation. Farmers are also facing the prospect that crops planted during the autumn will not have survived the flooding brought by repeated storms, the National Farmers Union said. I did tell you this is in the UK, did I not? It warned that households could feel the effects of low crop yields and reduced lamb numbers because many lambs have not survived the unseasonably cold temperatures and heavy rainfall. It's no exaggeration to say a crisis is building, said Rachel Hallos, the NFU vice president. While farmers are bearing the brunt of it now, consumers may well see the effects through the year as produce simply doesn't leave the farm gate. She added that the situation was a growing issue for UK food security and welcomed a new fund for farmers affected by flooding. Mr. Stanley said farms were facing an existential moment because of the changing climate, which could put many out of business, reducing UK food security. The problem that we're facing is that weather is becoming so extreme that it is overwhelming our ability as farmers to continue to grow crops at all in some places. Golly gee, could they be making that up? I don't think so. I don't think so. They got a heck of a lot of rain. They're not getting any crops. It seems like it's pretty strong correlation there. Anyways, that is not looking good. How is it? It's a pretty good post here from Dr. William J. Ripple. Dr. Ripple. I really do like the name Dr. Ripple. It's almost as good as Dr. Peacock. Almost. Consider ecological overshoot. I like this. This is a good meme. Carbon tunnel vision. It is not all about carbon emissions, but that seems to be what everybody is focused on. Let's look at the other causes of environmental destruction. Shall we? Let's take a trip. You and I. We have a water pollution, air pollution, fresh water scarcity. Sorry, you can't see this. Habitat destruction, biodiversity loss, wildlife loss, species loss, extinction, widespread toxic pollutants, overpopulation, overconsumption, overdevelopment, soil contamination, erosion, declining carrying capacity, eutrophication, zoonotic disease, and deforestation. Just something to think about. That's right. Max, that's pretty good. Professor Peacock in the library with a lead pipe. That's good. Or is it Dr. Ripple in the dining room with a candelabra? That's good. All right. Okay. I suppose it should be Professor Ripple. Ripple. All right. Come on, this is serious. Get serious here, you guys. Nearly 98,000 people evacuated amidst flood misery in Kazakhstan. Floods, 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 floods. But that's pretty massive. Let's see. All right. This is not the post I was looking for. These are not the droids you were looking for. This is not the post I was looking for. Move along. Oh no, everything is so slow now. Everything. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Just fighting against some very. Hold on. Oh, darn it. Everything just is grinding to a halt. Sorry about that. Just yeah. I do like this the Brave browser though. Really cool. Far better. God dang it. Anyways. Far better. All right, let's go to this post from Peter Dines, since I cannot seem to get the other post to cooperate. Across South Africa, the worst drought on record, global heating has turned those breadbasket regions into areas that now require food aid to feed their populations. There's hardly a grain in the fields, and the water resources have disappeared. Malnutrition is widespread. And we did just talk about this. The other day that African crops are in trouble. Let's look at this. All right, guys. Now, before we get into the story, now is the time when I will check on super chats, super rays, PayPal's, Venmos, coffees, what have you. And if you want to send me a coffee with a, you know how it works. Send a comment and a tip, and I will surely acknowledge you thusly. What's up? Dreguy has joined us in the world of Rockfin. All right. What are we looking at here? Okay. Malnutrition cases in sharp rise in Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe has seen the number of malnutrition cases rising lately due to the the drought-induced food insecurity. Sorry, that was not any kind of a Freudian slip. Insecurity in the deteriorating economy. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs indicated in its latest report that the majority of households in the country require food assistance to prevent a worse-off scenario, said the humanitarian office. The number of pellagra cases reported has continued to increase in Zimbabwe. What is pellagra? Pellagra. As per routine data, 1,258 cases were recorded between January to July 2020, which is double compared to the 666 cases over the same period. Say what? Last year. Following increases from 88 pellagra cases in March to May. I'm confused. To 141 in April cases in March, 241 in April, 224 in May, and 248 in June. 169 cases were reported for July 2020. Guys, help me out. What is pellagra? The UN office observes that. Is it something that is tied to malnutrition? Oh, thanks, Gene. Pellagra is when there's just corn and not enough other nutrient. It affects the skin and energy. Gets worse with time. Okay. The UN office observes that nationally 56% of women were consuming less than 5 groups of recommended foods. Zimbabwe has had acute food shortages since 2019, promoting the government to import and subsidize maize, grain, and mealie meal. Huh. Back in March, when the coronavirus lockdown was involved, the government pledged but did not commit to distributing cushioning packages to vulnerable members of society. What is this from? Why is this article 4 years old? Why is somebody retweeting a 4-year-old article? Come on now. Peter Dines, come on now. Gotta do a little better than that. Yes. I said it. It's cool if you're making a post in 2024 about drought and malnutrition, but don't link an article from 4 years ago. Don't make no sense. None to tall. Okay, this is what I was looking for. From Dr. Doctor. Took me a long time to get to this post. Oh, why is my computer being so slow? It's really not complicated. Consumption. Rises every year, but the COVID bump down and very minor 2009 recession bump down. Yeah. Demand for crude oil worldwide from 2005 to 2022. With a forecast of 2023. This is actually old too. But 2024. Bigger, badder, bolder. Coming in oil bold. With a fossil fuel swagger. 2024 is kicking the teeth out of all prior years. Anyways, it just keeps going up. And yeah, 2020 there was a bump. When the world took a pause, took a little break, a breather, if you will, from business as usual. And I don't know, either that little breather was the result of some calamity, or maybe it was genius. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But whatever the source, whatever went on in 2020, it did have an effect on emissions and oil consumption and the ongoing onslaught by humans on the environment. It kind of just, pushed it back just a bit, just a tiny bit. And you have, people on both sides of the, I don't know. It's weird, for humans, for humanity, you're supposed to, you're supposed to uphold the view that, the COVID was terrible and the pandemic was terrible and it was, and on a lot of levels it was, sure. But on some levels, if you could take yourself out of the very human centric or maybe just personal, like, well, it impacted my life negatively, therefore it was, just the worst thing ever. But if you could take yourself out of that, that perspective, if you will, and look at it, there were quite a few people who thought, hey, it was nice to take a break from the rat race. Or, hey, look how nature is responding positively to the lack of human activity. There's nothing wrong with identifying that. There's nothing like crazy, weird, anti-human. I mean, to just acknowledge that is be like, hey, look, we stopped, the relentless, gnawing of the planet by all the machines of man for a year. And nature was like, whew, jeez, God, you guys, man, you took the foot off my neck for a second there, and it feels kind of good. Anyways. And it's too much of a rabbit hole to go down. The whys and the wherefores. But anyway, I'm just acknowledging kind of an overview acknowledgement of them. So, anyways. And, maybe people won't understand my viewpoint, but when I was, when I saw that people were just not out on the freeways and the highways and the byways, just a bustling and a rustling and a hustling, doing their maniac human things at the level that we're always doing it. When I saw that they weren't doing that for a little while, actually it was kind of nice. It was like a deep breath. It was like a deep breath in the soul. Sorry to tell you that, but it's true. Anyways, and now they're back. Now the humans are back, and they're bigger and badder and dumber than ever. Anyways, just go look for yourself. If you live in a major city, just go wander out onto a highway. I suggest you do it inside of another vehicle and not just wander out your body out onto a highway. But just get in a car and just drive out there and get on the roads and see how crazy people are. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. In the scheme of things, we're still doing it and doing it. Raise the roof, humans. You're doing it. All right. Appreciate you guys. That will do it for me today. And thanks for joining me, as always, on the daily. You guys are great. I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. And until next time, peace.